All right, hello everyone. It's Wednesday, happy Wednesday. We have a full body conditioning session that we are going to do today. So we're starting off with a nice warm up, no equipment involved, but we will need some stuff as we get into our exercises, including these 8-pound dumbbells or a set of dumbbells if you have them, or I will also be using the glute bands that you can kind of see here over here, yes. Besides that, the other optional thing that you could incorporate today, which we had so much fun with last week, was your jump rope, or is your jump rope. So if you would like to add that in, I will be giving us some options on what you can do, and jump rope is one of them. So if you want to grab it, bring it out. We will use it. Not quite yet though. We're going to start off with this warm up with our bodies and our mat. You can come on to the very back of your mat, standing hip width apart, nice and tall. We'll keep our legs straight, but knees soft as we bring our hands down to the floor, walking all the way down to the bottom. When we get down here, nothing. We just walk right back up to the top. Again, straight legs, getting that opening in the back of the legs. Arms go up at the top, and then we're going to get that side bending action going on. So side bend once, yes, side bend twice, and then we go back down, and we are going to do that 2 more times. And nothing at the bottom. Coming on back up, arms up, taking our sweet time, getting a bit of that opening stretch down both sides. And then do 1 more of those for me to make it 3 total. And there we go. Okay, so we'll get through that 3rd one. And then we're going to walk back down 1 more time to stay down here for a little bit, getting into a plank position. What we're going to do is lift our hips up to the ceiling as high as we can, getting again a stretch through the back of the legs, and then we'll come down and step our foot in as close as we can towards that hand, and then we'll step back into the plank, lift those hips up, and then back into that low plank and step that other foot in. So we'll go through so that we're stepping in 3 times on each side, lifting up our hips between each one, getting our foot as close as we can to the hand, although your first couple might not be too close, but as we go through them, hopefully you can step that in a little bit closer. So we'll get you through, again, 3%, woo, little bit of blood flow to the head. Standing up once we're finished that one. You can take your time with it though. That one's gonna warm us up. Next one's in a squat stance. So we're gonna stand a bit wider than our hips, toes slightly angled out to the sides. Sitting down, elbows are going to go inside the knees, we push out, and then we'll stand and arms can go back down by our sides. We go down, push, release, stand up, that's 2. We're doing 10 of these total. Now your depth will depend on you and your body, how slow you can go. 90 degrees is the goal, but if you can't quite get that low, you can always use your hands or your forearms instead of your elbows. Okay, so let's get through those 10 with that little outward tension at the bottom, 10 times. Very nice. 10 of them. And then we are going to come and either turn around so that you have some room behind you as we're going into some lunges. Arms are down by our sides. We're going to step back into a lunge, and at the same time, I'm going to rotate and turn towards that front leg. And we come back up, and then I do the other side. So oftentimes we will kind of separate this, but this one we're trying to kind of add it into one fluid motion. As I step back at the same time, we're turning in towards that knee. We'll go through 10 of these total, 5 on each side. A little bit of balance involved. Waking up the balance. All of our little stabilizers. Okay. And then I shall refer to my list for the next ones. Perfect. Okay, so 10 of them, and let's get down on the floor for the next one. So we're going to get into our all-4 position, hands and the knees. We want our wrists underneath our shoulders, our knees underneath our hips. Going into a bird dog, so make sure you have a little bit of space behind you. You take a couple steps forward. Lifting up opposite arm, opposite leg, reaching this top position here, and then we come back down. We'll put this side down, and then we'll lift up the other side, and we'll go 10 on each, 20 total. So we're trying to keep everything through our torso and our back as straight as possible. Everything in here, we're not arching or rounding. We keep that all as still as possible. Again, starting to tap into that balance here. Trying to control that top end position when we have our arm and our leg up. 10 of them. There you go. So we'll get through those ones. As we finish those up, again, 10 per side, 20 total. Had to think about that one a little bit. Not 10, 5 per side. So we'll get through these ones. Once we're done, we're going to pop up into a plank position once again. And we're going to try to lift up our opposite hand and our opposite foot through 10 total, 5 per side. So if you can't quite get that, start with just your feet. And we can start with just lifting those legs up, right side, left side. But see if you can get that hand going. It might be a little bit wobbly to start. But as we go through those 10, 5 per side, you might be able to kind of tighten it up and lock it in a bit more. Let's get on. All right, so as we finish up those ones, get on up here. We're back up to the top. If you'd like to grab yourself a quick sip of water, that one definitely warmed me up. You probably the same. Grab some water. We are going to get you started on this first part of our session today, which is all about our balance, because it's actually been a couple weeks from our program that we've actually focused on some of our balance exercises that we know / love / just know that we need to do. So what we're going to do is set ourselves on a timer. We're going to be working with our single leg deadlift with our overhead reach. So I have this clock here. It's going to be a running clock, so I will tell you when to switch. We're going to spend 30 seconds on one side, 30 seconds on the other, and we'll complete 3 sets total, just going back to back between the two. So you can start off with just standing on one leg. It's probably the hardest part here. Just kidding. What we're going to do is stand here, soft knee, and then we'll work with pushing our hips back into this deadlift and reaching our arms above our head so that we reach and end up in this position here. And then we'll stand and drive our knee up at the top, not touching the floor, very important. And this is going to be us for 30 seconds. And I'm going to press start right now. And you're off. Here we go. And let's do it. We're going 3 sets total. And balancing is the goal here. So let's try to see if we can, again, not touch that foot down. If you can't quite get that, don't worry about reaching your arms above your head. Just try to focus on keeping your balance. Okay, do drive that knee up at the top. We'll work with a couple more on this side. 5 seconds here. There we go. And switch sides. So we'll switch right away, and we will start to go on the second side here. Again, might be a little bit wobbly to start. This is why we do the balance all the time, because it is that thing that you have to constantly practice and work on in order to maintain and or improve. So we'll get a couple more right here. Switching back to that first side in 3, 2, 1, and switch. So we're back to that first leg that we're doing, and we're trying to do the exact same thing. If you're somebody who is finding this is a little bit easy, what you can do is keep your arms above your head the entire time. Keep them lifted up there, woo, which is gonna again throw your balance off a little bit, make this a bit more challenging. But some of us, we don't need that. All right, so we'll get one more over here and switch sides. So we're on our second side again for our second set. We have one more after this one, okay? We'll try to do the same thing that we did on that first side. Maybe you kept your arms up. Maybe you just, struggled to get through this. Whatever it is, let's keep doing it for 10 more seconds right here on this side. There you go. Oh, the balance. All right, we are switching right now. So we'll switch back and start back on that first side. This is our final set of this single leg deadlift. Okay, you probably feel maybe a little bit of work happening in that hip, in that leg. But most of the work here that we're going for is the balancing, trying to keep your foot off the floor. So let's really lock that in. 10 more seconds on this side. And switch sides. Okay, so we're on our final set, our final side. Let's do it. Woo, the balance. So we'll work through, again, taking our time, trying to keep it even as to what we did on the first side. All right, 10 more seconds left. We'll keep working through this one. This one is definitely harder than it looks, especially when we haven't done it for a little while. 3, 2, and time and rest. Nice work. Okay, I am going to stop this timer and reset it because we have one more exercise that we're going to do, and it is on the floor, back in that bird dog position. So what we're going to do is get on down here onto our hands and our knees. We're going to be working with that same time format. So 30 seconds on one side, 30 seconds on the other. So it's a little different from how we did it in that warm-up. We alternated. This time we're going to do all one side. The other thing that we're going to do is walk our hands and our knees closer together, okay? So this is what's going to make you feel like you're challenging your balance, is how close or far your hands are, all right? So we're all going to try this. Walking our hands, they're almost touching, knees are almost touching. We'll lift up our opposite arm and opposite leg. Okay, make sure you have some space behind you. Don't kick your plant. And we're going to go in and out without touching that floor down for 30 seconds on this side. Okay, so I'm going to press start right now. Let's go. And we are going to start this. Now, for most of us, this is going to be challenging, especially if we, don't really do this one that often. But if you do want to make it harder, the closer your hands and knees, the more challenging that this is going to be, okay? So 10 more seconds on this side. We'll see how we feel in this first set. There we go. 3, 2, and switch sides. So right away, same thing. We'll just lift up the other side now, trying to bring them in and out and reaching that top end, kicking our heel up to the ceiling rather than our toe. And 15 more seconds right here in these bird dogs. So same thing, we're going to do 2 more rounds. You'll have 2 more chances, opportunities to get this one in. Okay, and the second one starts in 3, 2, 1, and on to the next side. Okay, on the first side, I should say. So let's switch back and we will start going through this one. If you want to make this second set a little bit harder, you can add some pauses, holding this top position for 1, 2, even 3 seconds before you come in and together. That's the hard part right here. So if you want to challenge that, you can hang out up there a little bit longer than you did on your last set. Okay, 3, 2, and switch sides. So we're on to our second side, doing the same dang thing that you just did on that first side. Okay, let's do it. All right, we got a little bit of sneaky core work in here because we're, again, like we talked about in that first bird dog we did earlier, we want to keep everything in our core and torso still and stable. All right, so we're going to start our third set in 3, 2, 1, and we'll switch back to that first side, and this is our last set down here. Okay, let's get it in. Maybe, holding that top end, seeing how that feels. Again, it might be a little bit wobbly, but that is what we're here for. We're trying to challenge that, seeing if we can control that. Okay, 10 more seconds on this side. A couple more nice, slow, controlled reps. 3, 2, 1, and switch sides. So we're on our final set of our last side of our bird dogs. Another one that is kind of like one of those things that's way harder than it looks. We'll keep working it though. 15 more seconds here. Taking our time. There you go. Okay, so last couple. Oh yes, 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and time. All right, nice work, guys. So we are going to get up off the floor. You can grab yourself some water, and we are going to start you off on our big old conditioning circuit that we're going to do today. So we have one circuit that we are going to be working through. And that is going to basically make up the entire session that we're going to work with for our conditioning, for our cardio. After that, we will have a nice little follow along stretch that we do together. But this next part is all about you getting your heart rate up, working your heart, your lungs, all that stuff. So we will need to grab that equipment that I mentioned briefly at the beginning if you are going to use it. Of course, I have body weight options for those of you who do not have equipment. I am going to set our timer here as it is set for the wrong time. While you guys grab your water, grab your dumbbells, your bands, keep them close. We are going to start you off here. And 15. Okay, so we are going to be working with 4 exercises. You guys are working on a timer of 60 seconds on, 20 seconds off. So we'll be working with 20 seconds of rest between each 60 seconds of work. After we're finished our first round of 4 exercises, we are going to take 2 whole minutes of rest, okay? So we have lots of rest today, which means we are going to work extra hard. We're always talking about earning our rest, and that is ever so more important today. So for our very first exercise, I did mention the jump rope. If you guys do want to incorporate it in, that is going to be for your first minute. If you do not have a jump rope, or you just simply don't want to do the jump rope, what I'm going to do instead is come to this edge of my mat here. Just make sure nothing is in my way, and I will be working with this over and back fast feet, okay? So we have lots of options. If you're low impact, you can kind of keep it a little bit lower. If you want to sub for that jump rope or for your imaginary jump rope, like we talked about last day, that's going to be you for this first minute. The other 3 movements we are going to talk about on this timer, right? Because we have that 20 seconds between each one. 4 exercises, and then we will be taking some rest once we're finished our first round, okay? Are you guys ready? As ready as you ever gonna be? Okay, starting in 3, 2, 1, and let's go. Here we go. Delayed beat. Let's do it. So we're going over and back, okay? Again, if you're working with your jump rope, you can jump that rope. Get it in, start it up, find that coordination again. I know some of you did send me messages and leave comments that you did enjoy that little switch up of jump rope last day. So here it is again for you to practice your jumping of the rope. So we have 30 seconds left. Pace yourself, my friends, especially on this first round. You're really gonna feel and find out how this feels. We will be working through 4 more rounds after this, okay? So you have lots of chances to push yourself and make this harder, but we never want to, push ourselves so hard that we have to stop. We're more about pacing and building up through the minute. 10 seconds left. There you go. Woohoo! 3, 2, 1, and resting. Okay, so for the next one, we are going to put that jump rope aside. You are working with a squat jump. Ooh, yes, for 60 seconds for the burning legs. So we're going to be sitting down into a squat. Ideally, I want you guys to work with our heel tapping squat jumps, where we tap our heels at the top. But those ones are pretty hard. So if you can't quite get that soft landing, if you kind of like land like this and then have to squat, then I prefer you to maybe just do the normal squat jumps without the heel tap until you can work up and be able to do that. If you don't jump, well then you don't jump. You're gonna squat and bring that heel across. Woo! And work with this one for this minute. Okay, so this is where, it's gonna get pretty challenging. You're already feeling worked in this one, so again, pace yourself. 30 seconds left. Try to keep doing something that you can maintain, that you don't have to stop. And remember, we have lots of rest, okay? So get yourself feeling that super uncomfortable feeling so that you can get the most out of this. 15 seconds left. Woo! Burning legs. 3, 2, 1, and time. Okay, the next one. We are going to use our dumbbells, and I'm going to bring them out and put them sort of to the front center of my mat. We're working with this one where we come down onto the floor, Jump our feet out, row, row, come back in, and stand up. Woo! And do it again. Let's go. So if you don't jump, you can step out. If you don't have dumbbells, you can just pull in your hand like this. Okay? And step up. You can also just do this with one. You don't need two dumbbells. We can pull in the one, pull in the other, and then stand up to the top. So this is us. This one does take a little bit longer to complete each rep. So take advantage of that. Kind of, again, find your pace. 30 seconds though, right here in this one. Let's get it. Okay, so we're pushing through this one. Ooh, 15 seconds left, my friends. Okay, okay. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Time. Nice work. Okay, so the very last one, we're going to move those dumbbells all the way out of the way. We're going to come over to one side of our mat. We're working with our infamous split jumps all the way to one side. When we get here, we're going to lunge. We're going to lunge, and then we're going to split jump all the way back to the other side. So we again need a little bit of space so that we don't knock anything over, run into anything. Again, if you don't jump, you can go with your fast in and out feet. Woohoo! All the way down, and then just lunge, okay? You can even do a little other combo like the split jumps, and then maybe we just lunge if you don't jump, okay? So let's do it. 35 seconds here to get this in. We'll have 2 full minutes of rest, you guys, after this, so push yourself as hard as you can. Wonderful. 15 seconds left. Woo, it's warming up here now. Let's go. 10 seconds, okay? So we'll get there to the other side, hopefully. One more time. Maybe the back 2. 3, 2, 1, and time. Awesome job, you guys. Okay, so I have this timer set here for 2 minutes, and we are taking this additional rest. Oftentimes we'll do this, we'll go right into our second set right now, but that is not the case today because these exercises, well, they're pretty dang hard, if I do say so myself, but especially when we do them for 1 minute. So we're taking this time right now to let you rest, to let you recover. When you're doing that, walking helps, moving helps, okay? I know sometimes it feels good to just like stand here and like post up against the wall or like sit down, but your body doesn't really like to do that, especially when you're getting your heart rate up so high. So in order to kind of prevent that dizziness or that sort of sick feeling that happens, you know it, because we all get it when we do cardio, move around, drink some water, and take those deep belly breaths. You have 1 more minute of just straight up rest, you guys, before we start our second set. And again, we're doing 5 sets today. So we have this one, 4 more to go, which I know sounds like a lot, but as we go through it, it will actually go quicker than it sounds. Don't hold me to that, just kidding. So we'll take this rest. We have about 40 more seconds where we're just breathing. And again, the reason why we have this here is so that you can have a stronger set, a more intense set of our exercises. Because if you didn't have this rest, you'd still be kind of huffing and puffing when we start that next round of that jump rope. We want you a bit more calm, okay? So bring it down, a few more deep breaths. We have about 15 seconds before I'm gonna press start on this timer for our second set. I'll remind you of those 4 exercises if you have forgotten them. The first one is our jump rope, okay? So again, if you are not jumping over the rope, you are doing something else to get your heart rate up, okay? And we are starting that in 5 seconds. So get ready, get set, 3, 2, 1, let's go, okay? Second set, let's do it. Okay, we're gonna begin with that jump rope. You can even sub in all together and do something like a toe tap if you would like. Again, the most important part here is that you're getting your heart rate up, all right? And that is happening if you're doing the jump rope, any of those versions. Okay, so again, These next sets, these are the ones that we're really gonna push ourselves in, okay? A little bit harder than the first set. You know how you felt, okay? So we'll try to see if we can feel a little bit more worked towards the end. 20 seconds left. You got it. Always like freezing cold, and then start jumping around. And, woo, it's warm in here now. All right, keep working through, my friends. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Nice work. Okay, so we'll put that aside. Ooh, take some deep breaths. We're gonna need them for these squat jumps, which are the next one. All right, so 1 minute of squat jumps, starting in 5 seconds. So we'll get into that squat stance. Here we go. So sitting down and trying to work with that heel tap, if we can do it. Okay, tapping the heels at the top, or simply just doing that squat jump. Because for most of us, that is going to be very challenging to maintain for this entire minute. And that is the most important part, is that you just keep doing something. Okay, we don't want anyone stopping or resting, because we have lots of time to rest, and now is not that time. 25 seconds left, you guys. Let's go. Let's go. There it is. Okay, 10 seconds. Nice work. Let's go, let's go, let's go. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Okay, so we're on to that third one. And we need that dumbbell here. Banded peeps. If you're using your loop bands instead of dumbbells, what you can do is put the band around your wrist like this. And just move that out of the way. Okay, dumbbells, you know what to do. Let's go. We've started. We go down. Okay, and then you can pull in, and then in again with the jump or with the non-jump. Okay, let's get it. 40 seconds left. Standing up nice and tall at the top. We don't have to jump or anything like that though. Just a nice stand up, and then we go back down. And do it again for 30 more seconds. Let's do it. Okay, so anytime we're in this plank position, we're trying to row or lift up one hand. We want to control our hips, stop them from doing this tilting, this shifting. 15 seconds. See if you can get down there and kind of feel what I mean, what I'm talking about. And then again, try to tighten it up. 10 seconds left. Let's go. 3, 2, 1. And time. Awesome. Okay, so we'll make sure we have space for this next one. Dumbbells are out of the way. Split jumps to the lunge jump. Now, some of us are kind of short on space, and I get that. So instead, if you need to, you can do these ones in place, counting out 6 of our splits and then 2 of our lunges. Okay, so a little coordination. So rather than actually traveling, if you need to, you can just stay in one place. I know some of us we don't have a lot of space, if any. And I don't want you guys, again, breaking anything or kicking over any plants or anything like that. 35 seconds left. All right, so again, pacing ourselves, but also pushing ourselves, okay? We don't want to feel like we are ready to go after this. We want to feel extremely worked, like we actually need to rest, like physically need to rest. And so that comes down to how hard you can push yourself right now. 15 seconds of it. So see if you can bring it up another notch or 2 and hold it there. Woohoo! 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. Awesome work. Okay, so once again, we are back to this 2 minutes of rest, which the timer has already started. So you probably feel a little bit more now than you did on the first set. Why we have this rest here, okay? So if you're feeling really hot and heavy, that is a good thing. That's what we're going for. If you're not, if you kind of feel like you're you're ready to start your next set, then you need to push yourself harder. Okay, we have 3 more rounds. All right, this next one's going to take us past the halfway point. 2 more after that, and then we are done for the day. So that's nice. 1 more minute and 15 seconds of rest. Okay, so we're just breathing, thinking about how good we feel. Maybe not so much, but you will as we go through the rounds and as we finish. All right, so we'll just take this time right now. The more rested and recovered that you can be going into the next set, the better, okay? Because that's what we're going for here. These intervals that we're doing, this time frame, we're trying to get our heart rate up and then bring it back down between our rounds, okay? So you should be feeling calm, hopefully. Okay, keep it moving. We have about 20 seconds before I will press our start button for our third set. I know 5 sets. Rarely do we do 5 sets. I mean, sometimes, but today is the day, and oftentimes with 5 sets, it's more, again, of like a mental thing. So let's get our motivated hats on here. We're going to start in 5 seconds. Back to that first one. Jump rope. 3, 2, 1, and let's go. Third set. And I just got the notification. I got a little bit sidetracked from my computer. Needing to plug in. There we go. We are plugged in. Okay, so let's do it. You have already started on this first or third set. Woohoo! So we'll work through 40 more seconds of it. Right here, right now. There we go. Okay, so we're pacing ourselves, pushing ourselves, maybe trying to move our wrists, our feet a little bit faster. 20 seconds left. There we go. Nice, thank you guys. 10 seconds, like that. Pushing ourselves. 3, 2, 1, and time. Okay, so we'll put that aside, get that out of our way. On to the next one, which is our squat jumps. Maybe the hardest one, maybe, just because again we have that leg involvement, and there's really no rest for the legs. Okay, it's basically like 1 minute of burning legs. Okay, so that's what you should be feeling, and let's go. Okay, so again we'll try to find that heel tap if we can add it in here, but that soft landing is the most important, all right? So if you can't master landing soft, trying to make little to no noise on the landing, then you have to figure that out first, okay? If you are, again, really struggling with it, something that you can practice is coming up onto your toes, like so, because that's what's happening as we land. We sort of catch it with that toe to heel situation. And sometimes we just need to kind of slow down a little bit, find that, and then we can build our pace back up with that proper, safe, soft landing, okay? 15 seconds. Woo! Hopefully I've distracted you a little bit thinking about your landing. Sometimes we need it, just a distraction to get us through all these squat jumps. Okay, keep doing them though. 3, 2, and now can rest. All right, so on to that third one. Those plank rows. Okay. So yeah, if you're working with hexed dumbbells like this, you can always use 2 and kind of put your hands on them like this. But if your dumbbells are round, this is simply just unsafe. So then you would want to put them in between and just kind of pull out one at a time. It's also a little bit more comfortable on your wrist to be on your hands than on the dumbbells themselves. But I know some of us have these sort of hexed off ones. So if you want to, it kind of makes it a bit faster to just stay on the dumbbells. We got options, okay? 30 more seconds. Down there, up here, let's do it. So same thing, we're trying to go for that control in the hips. So we'll see now if we can lock that in here on the third set. Let's go. So we'll try to get through at least 2 more. 15 seconds to go. Taking your time though. Okay, don't rush these ones, especially not those rows. You know, the hardest part down there. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and time. Awesome work. Okay, so we'll move these bad boys out of the way. Split jumps to lunge jumps. Little combination move. Okay, so take a deep breath. This is going to bring us to the end of our third set. Okay, let's go. Finishing up just as strong as we started. Pushing ourselves even maybe a little bit harder, okay? Because again, we're gonna have 2 minutes of rest. And we need to earn that rest by getting our heart rate up higher than we did in the last round. You have 40 seconds for you to do that for yourself. No one can help you with this stuff, okay? We can tell you what to do, remind you how important it is to push yourself and get your heart rate up. At the end of the day, you have to do that. You have to do the work. You make your feet move faster, your arms. Okay, so 20 seconds. See if you can find, again, that uncomfortable feeling. You know the one I'm talking about. Let's make that happen, okay? 10 more seconds left. And then we rest for 2 minutes. And 3, 2, 1, and time. Okay. So once again, my friends, woo, we are getting there. Remember when I said that it's going to go a little faster than it sounds? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but that's okay. We're going to 2 more sets, and then we're finished. All of the work for today. We're going to finish off with some stretching, of course, after we cool down and all that. Again, right now, we're feeling like we really need this rest, and that is a good thing, okay? It means that you worked hard, you pushed yourself in that last set. So we'll keep moving, keep drinking that water, and keep trying to calm yourself down, bring your heart rate down. You have just over 1 minute before we shall start our 4th of 5 sets. We are getting there. Hopefully you guys are feeling good, although I know you are probably not feeling that good right now, but you will. Okay, you're gonna feel amazing. Whole rest of the day, even into tomorrow, if you can do this and push yourself through these last 2 sets, because that's all we need. So a couple more sips of water. We have 30 seconds before we're going to start our 4th set. Okay, back to that first one. Again, that jump rope. Oh, yeah. So like we talked about last day, if you were here when we had our jump rope day, jump rope can be kind of easy. I mean, so can these ones, right? These kind of forward and back quick feet. Starting in 10 seconds, this is your strongest and fastest set. So I want you to make that happen for yourself. Start off stronger and then hold your pace faster the whole minute. Starting in 3, 2, 1, let's go. Set number 4, okay? So this is the one where you do a little bit more than you did on all the other ones. It's not the last one, okay? And we've done some before this, so your body knows what's going on. And now is the perfect time to really push yourself, okay? Because you're going to be quite exhausted in our last round. So now I want you to see if you can do a little bit more than you did on the 3rd. Okay, halfway there, 30 seconds left. We have to be intentional. We have to do this stuff for a reason, trying to actually move our feet, our wrists faster, okay, whatever version that you are doing of these ones, okay, our toe taps, whatever it is. 15 seconds, okay, let's go. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Jumping around. 5 seconds, 3, 2, 1, and time. Awesome work. Okay, so we're gonna put that down. Come on over. Oh, yes. We're also probably feeling a little bit of leftover stuff in our legs. Okay, this kind of stuff will actually help loosen them up. Let's go. Although it might not feel like it right now, you might feel like your legs are really tight and really sore. We'll just try to get through this. We'll feel better once we're done. All right. 40 5 seconds of our squat jumps. Okay, or our squats if you're low impact. Work with that cross. Again, with this one, if you are not jumping, we just gotta hustle, okay? And then you can even do our squatted toes like this, whatever helps you get your heart rate going faster. 25 seconds. Here we go. Breathing. Oh yes, so we're pacing ourselves so that we don't have to stop. Even if you go a little bit slower, that's okay. 10 more seconds. I would prefer that over you stopping. You will be able to stop in 3, 2, 1, and stop. Nice work. Rest. Okay, onto the plank rows. So grab that dumbbell, put it down there. Don't start yet though. Wait for the beep. Take all the rest that you can get. All right. So we'll get ourselves ready here. Let's go. We go down. We roll. We roll. And we come up. Standing nice and tall at the top. There we go. Okay. 40 seconds. Breathing as we go through these ones. Getting in that sneaky core work of trying to control our hips. Halfway there. Second last time you're here on all these ones, so that's good news. We got almost there. Okay, but again, see if we can get more control here, especially at the end when you're getting tired, things are getting a little wobbly. 15 seconds, tighten it up, okay? See if you can finish strong, stronger than you started. Right now, last one. 5, 4, 3, 2, and get on up here. Okay, we'll move those dumbbells out of the way because we need all of the way for this last one, which is gonna finish up our 4th. Okay, which means we have 1 more, and then we're done. Split jumps to lunge jumps, starting in 5 seconds. Get ready, get set, and let's go. Okay, so we have our arms and our legs working together on this one. We can have those bent arms, we can have the straight arms, okay, whatever it is. Try to hold it, maintain it for 45 seconds. Let's do it. Let's do it. Okay, same thing with these ones. The lunges specifically, that soft landing is crucial, all right? So let's really try to see if we can absorb our shock and not have that jarring landing. That tends to come out, you know, when we get tired, we aren't really thinking about it too much. So this is our reminder to catch ourselves as soft as possible. 15 seconds. Oh yeah, let's go. Finishing in 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and time. Okay, my friends, nice work. This is our final rest round. Woo! 2 minutes is already started. All right, so now you are definitely feeling why we have this rest in here, okay? Because, you know, if we were gonna go into your next set, you wouldn't have a very strong set. So we're gonna take this time, the last time that we have today's class, to rest, to breathe, to try to let our heart rate come down. Gonna feel a little bit more normal, although you still might be bumping up in there, that's okay. But we want to feel ready to start our 5th set, set number 5. Okay, it's going to be our final one, 60 seconds of rest until we are starting, all right? So take this time to yourself. Ooh. Think about how hard you are going to push yourself in the final set, and the fact that it is our final set, that's good news. So once we get through this one, we will have a few stretches that we are going to do together, and then you will be free to go, and you are going to feel amazing for the rest of the day because you released all these endorphins by doing this cardio, by getting your heart rate up, okay? So this is our last chance to do that for ourselves, and it starts in about 10 seconds, okay? So, okay, grab some water, the last sip, get yourself ready, set up to start. The last set of our jump rope. 3, 2, 1. Let's go, okay? This is it. The final set, the final round, the last time you are here for today and for the week, all right? So again, we need to get it going, push ourselves as hard as we can so that we can feel good and accomplished once we're done. Because you know how you feel. You kind of like, you know, and you could be going a lot harder. It feels kind of shitty at the end of the class. It doesn't feel very good. So that's even more so a motivation for you to really challenge yourself so that you leave nothing left in your gas tank, okay? Because you're gonna have all day to kind of build it back up. 20 seconds, we need you moving faster, more controlled, more intentional with everything that's happening. All right, let's do it. 10 seconds, come on now. You got this. But like, who knew jump rope could be so hard, right? Welcome back. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Amazing work. Okay, so we're gonna put that stuff aside because the next ones are squat jumps. Woo, which we're gonna get done and out of the way. Final set. Okay, starting in 5 seconds. So get that squat stance and that little angle out in the toes, and let's go. And we're landing as soft as possible, trying to jump as high as possible. But, you know, you're not going too crazy at the beginning. Pace yourself, especially with this kind of stuff, with the legs involved. You have to, because if you go as hard as you can right now, you're going to gas out, and you're not going to be able to keep going for the whole entire minute. So I'll give you all our reference points. We're halfway right now. Okay, so you have to keep doing this for that same amount of time. You got this, though. Even if again you have to take it a little bit slower on these next 5 or 10 jumps, that's okay. Plenty of time to crank it back up and go as fast as you can, okay? And I'll tell you when the last 10 seconds is right now. Let's go. Last 10 seconds, faster. Okay, I want more of them. More than you want to do. 3, 2, 1, and now you can stop. You are done those squat jumps. So onto our plank rows, our last 2. Look at us go. Us getting there. All right, so we'll get that dumbbell ready. Take a deep breath, okay? And let's do it into our plank, into our rows. If you are struggling to keep those hips from doing this, wider feet is going to help your kinks. Okay? If your feet are really close, you're probably going to shift and tilt. So you can try widening them up. And you have 40 seconds. So lots of time to get at least 3 to 5 more of that whole thing in. Okay? Plank, the row, stand up, all of it. There you go. 25 seconds left. This one kind of creeps up on you, a little different than like those squat jumps, which like hit you right in the face. 10 more seconds left. So again, we'll try to lock in those hips. Keep your breath flowing. There it is. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. All right, get on up here, and we'll move everything out of our way because we have our last one. Our split jumps to lunge jumps, combination move. Are you ready? Well, ready or not, you're gonna start in 3, 2, let's go. Okay, last set. This is it. Our last round, our last chance with these ones. So again, we'll see. We can push ourselves here, so that you really earn your rest that you are going to get when you finish this minute, of which you have 35 seconds left up. Okay, so let's do it. There you go, nice soft landing. Moving the arms and legs. We got that little coordination in here. Let's do it. 20 seconds left. Awesome. Strong finish. 10 more seconds. Okay, get over there one more time. all of it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. All right. Awesome work, you guys. So we are done there. We are resting right now. Okay, you probably feel very hot and heavy. I put our timer on here for 2 minutes, in which you are just going to rest. Okay, so the work is done. You are done. We are going to conclude today's session with some stretching. But before we start our stretching, we need to feel like we could answer a question if we were asked it. Okay, and right now you probably don't feel like that. You probably are huffing and puffing, and we need to calm that down. Okay, which is why I have this timer set. You might need a little bit less, you might need a little bit more time. Whatever time you need is completely fine. Okay, because again, all we're doing is stretching. You can join in whenever. Okay, if you need a little bit more time. So walking helps, and drinking our water, breathing, all of those things to calm ourselves down. Hopefully you feel good now because we're done the hard parts. As we are calming down, cooling down, we're going to start with a stretch that is standing. We need a wall for it. Okay, so again, if you need more time, you can just kind of watch and join in when you're ready. But we're going to come and position ourselves in a slight lunge, leaning forward, back foot facing forward, so it's not out on an angle like this. That's important because as we rock forward, we're going to feel that calf, this lower leg muscle here opening up. Okay, and if you have that angle, you're not going to feel this. Right, so we'll straighten out that foot. Find this position. The more we rock forward, the more we're going to feel. It shouldn't be painful though, right? We just want that tension in these stretches. So we'll find the tension and we'll hold this one for about 30 seconds. Okay, so again, if you need a little bit more time, take it. I'm not saying you have to start this one quite yet, but if you're ready, you can start this one, stretching out that calf. And it feels so nice after all that jumping around that we did today. There's a second part to this one that we're going to do, and that is to straighten out the front leg. We don't want to straighten it out so much that it is, there's our 2-minute timer, so we don't want to lock our leg out, but we want to straighten it so that we can feel that stretch happening down the back of the leg. To make that feel more, we can sort of walk our hands down a little bit, and again, lean our hips back so that we're opening up the back of that leg. And we'll hold this here. In 30 seconds for the hamstring, and making sure our knees not locked. Okay, you'll feel the difference. If our legs completely straight, we're actually not going to be stretching as much as if we have that slight bend. So we want to keep it in there. So that 30 seconds is up. We're going to come up forward and switch and do the other side. So I'll switch my lunge, switch my calf, getting that stretch down the back. Feels so nice after all that stuff that we do. And we'll breathe and hold this one here. Okay, so if you joined me when we started this one, we're hitting that 30-second point, and so we'll straighten up that front leg now. And if you need to increase that stretch, you can sort of move your hands down, and everyone's different. You might not need to move your hands at all, and just need to kind of push your hips back a little bit more. Whatever it is, let's do it to find that stretch in the back of the leg. Okay. So I'll take a few more deep breaths here. Holding this one. Okay, so same thing. You joined me when I started. You come slowly out of this one. The next one is down on the floor. I'm just going to give us a little bit of an angle down because we are going to sit like this. Okay, so some people are going to look at this position and be like, ouch, that's uncomfortable right away. If you're not that flexible, you're going to have a hard time sitting like this in an upright position. So if you need to make this more comfortable, wider legs, if you can widen up your legs, you can even lean back and put your hands down if you need to. But the goal eventually is to sit upright with no hands behind us, and eventually, maybe in time, have our legs together, okay, which is again, quite a challenging position for most people to get into without feeling any kind of pain. And we're trying to avoid pain here. So you need to widen up your feet, whatever you need to do, Let's find it. We're gonna sit upright. I'm gonna turn to the side so you guys can see what's happening sort of in my pelvis area here. We don't wanna be rounded like this. We're kind of falling back. We wanna tilt our pelvis under, and you'll feel what happens in your hamstrings. In the back of the legs, they're gonna start to stretch a lot when we do that sort of correcting position with our pelvis. So we're gonna hold this here, try to sit nice and tall, and then walk our hands forward while moving through our hips, not our back. So we don't want to be rounding. We want to try to send our hips to come forward like this. And so we're probably not going to walk that far forward, just a little bit so that we feel that opening stretch. And this is going to be us, okay? Holding this here, getting that nice stretch through the back of the legs. We can think about sending our toes to point up or even towards our face. We want to include those calves, which you'll also feel, that lower back of the leg. We're going to hang out here for this 30 seconds with our sort of hips rocked forward like that, and breathing and stretching. Okay, if you're feeling pain, just ease off. Okay, it should just be tight, not painful. So we'll hang out here. The next one is going to do everything the opposite of what I just said. We want to round our back. Okay, so allow everything in here to sort of disconnect. And we're going to round forward, which is going to include our lower back now rather than the hamstrings. Don't get me wrong, we're still going to feel that stretch in the back. But because we're rounding, we should also feel our lower back, maybe even our upper and mid back as well, as we hold this here. Same thing, if it's feeling a little bit too much stretch, just back off. And just, you can keep your back kind of rounded forward like this, tuck your chin in, and we'll get that opening stretch through our lower back. And it feels so nice after all the stuff we did today, yesterday, and the day before. So we'll take a couple more deep breaths in this position here. And then we have one more that we are going to do. We're going to be so happy to do this last one. This one always feels so good. We'll be working with our bow and arrow. So I'll have you guys lay on your back. This is going to be the final one of our little stretch session here. Rolling over to one side. We're going to extend our arm, take our top leg, and weave it underneath our bottom leg like this. This knee is going to stay down on the floor. We'll stack our hands, our shoulders, make sure we have some space behind us. Cross that body with an exhale, and then we are going to hang out right here in this position. So very often we'll move through this one and we'll kind of go through a more dynamic movement, but today we are just going to hold and stretch. We're going to get a nice opening through the hip, the lower back, as well as the chest and the shoulder on this side here. But the same thing, shouldn't be painful. And for some of us, we're pretty tight, and this is not the most comfortable position. So if you need to make it more comfortable, what you can do is grab a towel or a cushion and put it underneath your knee here, or you can just release your knees and stack them rather than that sort of stagger and tuck that we did. And then that will make this hopefully feel a little bit more comfortable, okay? Because again, shouldn't be painful, just a little tight. That's all. And it gets looser as we sit in it. So we're going to stay here 1 minute on both sides, in which we, excuse me, inhale to fluff. We already started our first side. So we are here. Inhale something. I don't know, there's lots of dust and dog hair and all that. Excuse me. Grab a quick sip of water while you guys hold your stretch. Okay, so we'll switch sides. I'm going to switch so that I can still face you guys, but you can just turn around and we'll switch and go through the other side and hold this one here. So same thing as pretty much any exercise or stretch. You might have one side that feels a lot tighter or a lot looser than the other. So just work it as you can. Again, try to make sure that we're not overstretching or finding too much tension, just a little bit. And we'll hold here. Okay, so again, if you need to release your knees, whatever it is, to make it more comfortable, and we will stay here. And breathe. Okay, so 1 minute on this side. And something definitely went in there. But we are gonna make it. We're gonna survive. All right. So that minute is about 10 seconds from being up if you switched when I switched to that bow and arrow. Anything else, my friends, that you would like to stretch? Now is the perfect time. You're nice and warm. Your body's moving. We've released all the fluid in our joints. Everything's warm. So you can stretch it out, okay? From your hips to your glutes, legs, anything else that you'd like to add in. But you guys are done with me. So thank you so much for joining me for another session. Whoop, whoop. Full body. Hopefully you feel good now that we are done. We're back tomorrow and Friday, of course, for our upper body tomorrow, lower body on Friday. So hopefully I'll see you guys then, and have a great day. Bye. And of course, my replay watchers, if you are watching this replay, drop a comment below, hit the like button, whatever it is, let me know that you were here so that I know you were here. Okay, I'll see you guys soon.